What pioneering propulsion systems did Civil War submarines use? Imagine trying to move underwater with the technology of the 1800s. Civil War submarines had to be inventive because they lacked modern engines. They mainly used human power to get around beneath the waves. The most famous of these was the Confederate submarine H.L. Hunley. Inside the small vessel, a crew of men turned a hand crank connected to a screw-shaped propeller. As they turned the crank, the propeller spun, pushing the submarine forward underwater. This simple but effective system was one of the first uses of a screw propeller in submarine design. Before the Hunley, some Confederate designs experimented with combining different power sources. One project in Mobile, Alabama, tried to use both a steam engine and manual power. The idea was to have the steam engine provide propulsion, but this proved tricky because managing exhaust and air supply underwater was difficult. Steam engines need a lot of air and produce smoke, which makes them less practical for submerged operation. Still, it was an important step in exploring different ways to power underwater vessels. The Union also tried to develop effective propulsion systems. Their first submarine, the Alligator, initially used oars. The crew of 16 men rowed the vessel, inspired by the webbed foot of a duck. This method was slow and tiring, but it worked for short distances. Later, the Alligator was fitted with a screw propeller, which was turned by hand cranks. This improved its ability to move smoothly and quietly through the water. Most Civil War submarines relied on manual power because electric or steam propulsion was still in early development stages. Electric motors were not yet reliable or powerful enough, and steam engines faced many challenges underwater. The use of ballast tanks was common to help submarines dive and surface, but the main propulsion was always human-powered or experimental. So, in the early days of underwater warfare, submarines used hand-crank screw propellers or oar systems. Some experiments with steam engines showed promise but were not practical at the time. These pioneering propulsion methods reflected the limits of technology during the Civil War and the need for stealthy, underwater attack vessels. They set the stage for future innovations in submarine technology and naval strategy.